Hey folks, Anthony here, Special Analysis. Welcome to this video. I'm going to break down what is included in the professional analysis that I provide every single day for both the S&P 500 and crude oil. Now, many of you probably know, if you've been following me or watching any videos of mine, I am a crude oil trader. That's what I trade, singularly, right? But I also know that the most popular futures market traded is the S&P 500. So, unselfishly, I provide the same content for both markets. Some of you may venture into crude oil. Some of you are trading crude oil. That's totally up to you. But many of you probably watching this video at least trade the S&P 500 or had some exposure to it. If you look at prop firms, it's one of the most popular traded. If you look out on the internet, I'm not a influencer or whatever they're called, but if you look at some of these younger guys or girls who are trading the futures market, many of them are very much focused on the S&P 500. And that's great. Listen, it's probably, if you're coming into the futures market, it's probably the market to start with. And there are professional traders that finish their career trading singularly the S&P 500. Now, if you're a more aggressive trader and you trade the NASDAQ, that's fine. The NASDAQ, more often than not, will respect the S&P 500 level. So anybody that I know that successfully trades the NASDAQ monitors the S&P 500. So if you're a NASDAQ trader, I think what I'm going to be providing you from the S&P 500, at least I found it useful, my clients find it useful, this in-depth analysis is going to ultimately kind of transfer to some degree, especially intraday, how the NASDAQ does react. More often than not, while we're trading the NASDAQ live, we are looking at the S&P as a reference, right? If the NASDAQ looks strong or weak, we really want to see some confluence between those two markets. And like I mentioned, more often than not, if the S&P is reacting aggressively or respecting a level of support or resistance, chances are the NASDAQ has some either reaction or respect to it as well. So that's quite important. The chart I'm going to show you inside this video is a chart of crude oil, because like I said, that's what I trade personally. The same will apply to the S&P 500. Not to repeat myself in doing this, making this video any longer than it needs to be, I'm just going to focus on one market. Now, inside this professional analysis, before I go to the chart, I want to tell you what's going to be provided to you. All right, you're going to get a detailed daily chart, all right, that is fully analyzed, telling you and explaining to you, showing you exactly where these levels are derived from. You're going to get a weekly chart, also fully analyzed, deriving where these levels are all coming from. I'm going to give you unique support and resistance levels each and every day, not only why there's support and resistance levels, but which chart they come from, whether it could be daily containment, weekly containment, annual containment, all these different levels that ultimately will provide you with insight to how strong these potential places are. In addition to that, I'm going to give you expectations for the day, expectations over potentially the next several weeks, including expectations potentially over the next several months. Why? Because what I provide is analysis, right, interpretation, and expectations. All three of those components come together inside of this service that I offer. Right? Now you can pick whichever market it is you're trading. There is a bundle for everything I offer, but I've broken everything down because I want an S&P trader specifically to say, hey, listen, I can benefit from this analysis. I don't need the other stuff, right? Or a stock trader says, hey, I can benefit from this particular aspect, but I don't need the other stuff. So I've made it extraordinarily affordable on a monthly basis for you to have the absolute most valuable analysis, interpretation, and expectations that I can possibly provide, right? To the highest level of who I am as a market analyst, as a trader. Right? I've worked with traders now for several years, touched thousands, maybe tens of thousands of lives through educational programs, through model portfolios and things of that nature. And what I've found is that ultimately information is key. right? So from somebody who's taken the CMT course, Charter Market Technician course, I want to bring to you ultimately what I believe, had I had earlier in my career, would have accelerated my career. That's the goal, right? The goal of the products and services that I bring to the table are not designed to enter you into some sales funnel and continue to sell you one product after another, like so many of these programs out there. It's just to give you exactly what you need, right? And how to apply it. And I'm here to help you along the way. So that's what's included, and this will be updated to you every single market day, okay? You'll be notified, hey, the analysis, interpretation, expectations have been updated for the following day. If you want to mark them on your chart, do what you choose with them. Whether you're a day trader, a swing trader, or a position trader, the aspects included inside of these reports will assist you. So it doesn't matter if you're just looking for big picture market direction, or if you're looking for short term, what you plan to trade the following day if you're a day trader, or if you're looking 2 to 3 weeks out, or if you're looking to buy or sell potential call or put options, or however you desire to use the options market to your advantage. This is going to give you the information ultimately that you need, right? If we hit this level, we could find resistance. If we break it, we're looking to push here over the next X amount of days, X amount of weeks, right? And it really breaks it down in very simplistic terms, as simple as possible, right? Like 5th grade reading level, nothing complex about it. Understanding that we know that trading is a business of probability, but having the insight to say, all right, this is professional grade analysis. This is what they use on Wall Street. This is how I can approach the market myself and put the odds in my favor of success. So I'm going to go a little deeper now, real quickly, because I don't want this video to be very long, into what these intraday support and resistance levels are and how I use them personally when I day trade. All right. As I mentioned to you, I am a crude oil exclusive trader. I look at many markets. I consult many markets for many clients. But the fact of the matter is, it comes down to what do I personally do, and that's kind of what I'm going to speak towards. But realize that this is applicable just the same to the S&P 500. So if you look at my chart up here, you can see I have hand drawn a whole bunch of levels, and these levels get updated every single day. Some roll over from the day before, some get adjusted accordingly. These are not computer populated pivots, all right? That's different. Now, if you choose to use them, that's totally fine. They're just making a calculation, continually populating them based on the time frame you're choosing. This is actually based off of real printed price action, not some formula. Right? So this is done by performing professional analysis on both weekly and daily charts to come up with these specific levels. And again, this is updated every single day. Now, as you can see, I've hand drawn these, right? This is a full 12-hour Globex session from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see this level up top here. We kept bouncing at it at resistance, right? So you notice every time we came here, and these levels are going to represent an area, right? It's never to the penny. But this area here was able to contain buying fairly significantly for a long period of time. And ultimately, what happened? How would you know where to take profit? You probably wouldn't, right? I mean, you can always use the risk to reward scenario. The issue with the risk to reward scenario is it's not necessarily calculated, right? I mean, you're calculating it based on your approach. But if I know that there's a potential for support to be found here, I may want to do what? Well, at least for myself, and what I teach people to do is pay and protect themselves. Take some profit, advance your stop. Great spot to take some profit, advance your stop. We come in here, notice we get some consolidation for a period of time. We just bounce back and forth. But what was previously support is now resistance, since we've broken it. Same thing right here, right? We got support, we push back up, we tickle it again, we push back up, and then we break through it, right? So having all these levels are going to play vital roles into your decision-making process. Now, you can do this all yourself. because that's what I do, right? And that's fine. But it takes a lot of time and effort. Right? So for that time and effort, I can save you that and simply deliver it to you every single evening or morning prior to, whenever you plan to mark up your chart. And this way you have anticipations of where the market has the highest probability of reacting. Now, you must understand something. These levels represent areas. It will never be to the penny, okay? Sometimes it will. You know, you can see right here on this last little push here before we fell a little bit lower. You know, we just tested that area pretty nicely. But if I see price continually pushing here and continually failing here, what should I think of that level? I should think of that level as a ceiling in the market. Okay? Until I can't genuinely make some effort, there's a better than not chance that if this resistance continues to hold, the market's going to eventually do what? Fall off. That's exactly what happened. This happens inversely, and this will also help you with ranging markets. This is where most traders struggle, right? They get stuck in a ranging market, and they don't necessarily know where that support or resistance line is on the higher time frame. And that's what's provided with these levels. You just simply apply them to your chart, update them daily like I do. It takes me all of 5 minutes every evening, and guess what? The next day when I come down to my trading terminal, it's ready to go. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right. Now, onto the bigger kind of picture here, looking at the projection for the day, right? Like I have my notebook right here. My wife bought me this beautiful notebook, her last trip to go see her father. I write down, right? What are the projections for intraday so that they're sitting right in front of me on my desk, right? So hypothetically, let's just say this upcoming week, $76 can contain selling pressure, right? Like I want to write that down so that I have a reference point there, because if I break $76, I know that there's a good chance that we're going to probably push significantly lower. I know we're going to get some fluctuation around that number, which is totally fine, but I want to be able to have that in my notes. And if I have that in writing, right, I create all that the evening before so that you have it all for you. You just sit there and jot down these notes so that you can reference to them throughout the trading session. Because if you start to see a break of what I've defined as a significant level of support or resistance, you're going to then say, all right, there's a good chance of continuation here. Or I'm going to look for a retest to that area, and now I want to see if that area holds as either newly appointed support or resistance. So intraday traders, these levels are invaluable. All right. Swing traders, understanding what could be happening in the next several days to several weeks, massive. Position traders, understanding what's happening over the next several weeks to the next several months, massive advantage to the market. And this evolves every day. So you will get a new report every single day so that you understand exactly what's happening, when, where, and why, so you can act accordingly upon it. So that's just kind of a quick summary of exactly what you're going to get inside this professional analysis of either the crude oil market report or the S&P 500. This way you can apply it to your trading accordingly. You can take that information, decide if it, when, where, and how you are personally going to use it within your own personal trade plan, within your own personal risk management, in order to benefit from these professional interpretations and expectations of what the market could potentially bring you. All right, guys? So if you have any questions, my email is on this page somewhere. Feel free to reach out to me. I also left my cell phone number. Feel free to text me. We can have a conversation, jump on a phone call, whatever it may be. I'll help walk you through the process, help you understand exactly how to dissect these reports so that you can get the full advantage of what they provide you. All right? God bless. Thank you so much for being here.